Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and I call myself the Therapist Nomad because I'm a therapist and I'm also traveling the world. Today I want to make a very transparent video about my expenses as a nomad and specifically about the last 7 months traveling. I'm going to be very detailed and transparent about the expenses on housing or Airbnbs, and I'm going to be a bit more vague about other expenses just because it was going to take me hours or maybe days to get together all of my receipts. So for everything other than Airbnb expenses, just know that it's going to be an estimate of how much I spent. So if you're interested in this topic, let's head on to the video. If you have been following my channel, you would know that in February of 2021, my boyfriend and I started traveling the world. We have visited about 12 countries. That means that we've stayed in a lot of different Airbnbs. And it is very common for people to come and ask me, how much am I spending? How much was to stay in this place or this place? And what are my total expenses? Everyone also wants to know if it's more expensive to stay stagnant in one city, to stay put somewhere, or travel the world. I would like to start by giving you some context about my expenses back when I lived in Miami. So I was living in the area of Midtown, which is an area that I really love. We have ocean view there. We also have nice local places to eat, and you can use your scooter to, go around the city, unlike in other places of Miami where you definitely need a car. So it's a more walking friendly neighborhood, and it's also very pretty. I was staying in an apartment with 2 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. I also had a parking spot that was included in the deal that I had. I had ocean view, I had a little balcony, I was steps away from the water, from tennis courts. It was really cool. Since I was very lucky to have this apartment rented out to me by a family friend, I had a very good deal. The monthly value of this apartment was about $2,000, and again, that was a special price for me. The rent is usually over that. I did a quick research on Zillow.com to see how much is an apartment in that same building where I was living, and they say that a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 842 square feet is about $3,058 a month. That is like, way more than what I was paying, but these are the usual prices in Miami, at least this year. Now, you need to know that I was staying in a very old building. Fancier and newer buildings are priced at a higher monthly rent. I was doing some research, and again, the cost was over $3,500 a month for an apartment with the same features that I had, but just a newer building. Now, let's expand on the topic of interest. I made sure to do some Excel sheets and tables so I can show you with transparency all of my expenses. I went through my Airbnb account and I got all of my receipts and I put them here. All of this information is 100% truthful. Just to be specific, I actually stayed in 13 different Airbnbs, not 12, 13. And we, on average, we were moving every 2 to 3 weeks to a different Airbnb, which made it a bit more costly just because when you stay for a full month, the host usually gives you a better discount. So keep that in mind. Longer stays can be a bit more convenient and slightly cheaper than staying 2 to 3 weeks at a time. I also want to clarify that for the most part, we try to stay in apartments that had 2 bedrooms or a little bit bigger in space. Since I'm a therapist, I need to make sure that I provide privacy to my clients, so I usually need a room for myself. And also Nico, my boyfriend, he does crypto videos and streams, so he also needs that privacy for that reason. If you don't need this privacy, you can definitely go for studios that are cheaper in price, of course. As you can see on this table, on average, we spent about $1,600 per month, which could have been lowered if we would have skipped Italy. So as you can tell, the most expensive place we stayed at was Italy. We stayed there for a month in 3 different Airbnbs because we were in Milan, we were in Rome, and we were also in Naples. But it was significantly expensive, and when I say that, I'm actually now realizing that it's almost equal to what I would have been spending in Miami if I didn't have that great deal I had. So even then, it's not a ridiculous price. price. It's what I would be spending in Miami. Something else I want to point out is that in Italy, we did not even stay in the best neighborhoods. We tried to stay low-key and stayed in places that were about a 20-minute walk or Uber drive to the center, nicest areas, but we did not stay in the best neighborhoods, and even then it was expensive. Let's say that you skip Italy. Okay, let's just say that. I went and looked up Madrid, for example. I did some research and browsed nomad.com to look at average prices for monthly payments in an apartment. So if we choose a 3-bedroom apartment, staying in Madrid for a whole month, you would spend about $1,700. Which is doable. And then if you choose instead a 1-bedroom apartment, it will be about $1,248 a month, which is not bad at all. So that's just to give you some perspective. And then if we would have stayed in Madrid for a whole month in a 3-bedroom apartment, we would have been paying about $9,000 a month for a 7-month period, which is a significant discount compared to $1,600 a month. That being said, you can already do your math and realize that traveling the world has been a bit cheaper for us than living in Miami. Remember that in Miami, besides paying for expensive housing, you must have a car, which on average, you know, talking about my car and Nico's car, we would spending about like $500 a month, and that includes the lease, the insurance, and the gas. In Europe, you don't have this transportation needs as much. You can take an Uber and they're already a bit cheaper, or you can definitely do public transportation, which works amazingly. However, I must be honest, because this is an honest video, the flights do add up. So I did some calculations, and on average we were spending about $300 a month on flights. And then because of COVID, things get a bit more expensive because we have to do the COVID test, etc. But you know, hopefully this will end at one point and we won't have to be doing so many COVID tests every time we travel. But that did add to our expenses. Now, regarding food, in Miami, of course, we eat a little bit more at home, but it's not like going to a supermarket in Miami is cheap. So I really think that we spent about the same amount of money traveling the world than we would have staying in Miami and cooking meals in Miami at home. We also go to restaurants every weekend, so I really think that we were spending about the same, and we got lucky in some countries and we spent significantly less in food. Like for example, in Ukraine, the food was super cheap, both at restaurants and at the supermarket, so that was a plus. Other miscellaneous expenses cover entertainment. So this is the one category that I would say is more expensive when we're traveling, just because when we live in Miami, there's not so much to do. If you are from Miami, you know this. Besides going partying and going to a restaurant and maybe go to the beach, there's not so much to do. So for that reason, when we're traveling, we want to go to the desert and we want to do the hike and we want to go to the museum and we want to do all of this fun stuff that do require money. I think that if we look at things from that perspective, traveling, it is a little bit more expensive. However, we did have months throughout our traveling that we stayed low and we tried to stay on a low budget. We didn't do crazy things. Like for example, if you check my videos, there's a video that I did on Greece on a budget, because we did not do Santorini, we did not do Mykonos, we were staying low. We just went to a very close by island that was a bit more budget friendly. So we did things like this just because we needed to save up some money. In summary, I do think that when we were traveling the world, we may have saved some couple of $100s here and there. Definitely, it feels more worth it. I would do it again and again. And it's because we get to live with the freedom that we really want and desire. We get to travel, get to know new cultures, get to do new things that at least I didn't get to do in Miami. So for that reason, if you have been entertaining the idea of traveling the world and leaving your hometown behind, go for it. It's not going to be terrible financially. If you have any questions about my expenses or the Airbnbs where I stayed at, just let me know down below in the comments. I'll be happy to share. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you very soon in another video.